How you doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal. And back in the very early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, the hottest block of television, arguably on TV every weekday afternoon, was the Disney afternoon. You had DuckTales and Tailspin and Gummy Bears and Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers and Darkwing Duck, and just later on you had other show, Goof Troop and Bonkers and other stuff, but none of that, anyway, it was the hottest thing on TV. And the hottest thing on your NES around the same time was Disney's Capcom's Disney games. That relationship, none of the games were amiss. We don't count Mickey Mouse Capade because Mickey Mouse Capade was actually a Hudson Soft game. And it played more like Milan's Secret Castle and Adventure Island mashed together than any of the stuff that Disney and Capcom did together. But Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers on the NES was released in 1990. It was a fantastic little action platformer. It played like a dream. It sounded wonderful. It was pretty. It was just a marvelous video game. 4 years passed. And in 1993, on the tail end of the NES life cycle, this was one of the final 12 games released on the console, a sequel was released. We're going to talk about that real quick. Today, we're going to take a quick look at Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers 2. Now, this is more of the same. Fat Cat breaks out of prison. Fat Cat is running amok around the city, causing chaos. Got a rabbit to set a bomb. Stuff like that. And it's up to the Rescue Rangers, Chip, Dale, Gadget, Zipper, Monterey Jack. I was about to call that boy Montana Max. I am so sorry, Monterey Jack. I'm so sorry. But the Rescue Rangers, it's up to them to stop Fat Cat. And so you go on the typical little action platform romp where you control either Chip or Dale. And the game plays a lot like the original, which is a great formula. Why mess with it, right? Well, the boss fights are a little bit different. That's one big difference. Instead of just the red ball chilling in the middle of the screen that you use to fight the boss, the bosses will either throw items at you and you use them back at the boss. Boxes fall from the ceiling, stuff like that. There's a couple bosses where bombs appear and you have to time the throw so that the bomb explodes on impact with the boss. It's typical stuff. Game, much like the first game, is fairly easy, which I'm okay with. It's definitely the easiest of the Disney Capcom games. You also, there's a little interesting wrinkle where you can, in a 2-player game, you can use the other player as a projectile. You can get a run and start and throw a projectile. It'll serve as basically a charge shot. Stuff like that. It's not particularly reinventing the wheel, but it's serviceable, right? The music and the visuals are on par with the first game, which would be cool if it wasn't for the fact that the first game was 4 years earlier. It's okay, but again, it's the end of the NES life cycle, so publishers, including Capcom, probably started phoning it in at this point. We can't necessarily be mad at them for it, but we know what we're getting ourselves into with games around a particular time period. But again, this is a Capcom Disney game, and on the NES, those games were superb. Now, if you want a copy of this game, European copies go for between 60 to 75 bucks for a cart, right? US copies, about $250. Repros, you could probably get about $25 to $50. Go get a repro, or get yourself a PAL region cart. Don't pay all that money for a cart. That's ridiculous. Also, the Disney Afternoon Collection. It was a compilation that Capcom put out in 2017 that has both Rescue Rangers games, both DuckTales games, Darkwing Duck, and Tailspin on it. So it's 6 games for about 20 bucks. You can't beat that with a bet. It's a great value, and it's probably the best way to play this game right now, price-wise. So, yeah. It definitely beats paying $250 for a cart. But this has been the 8-Bit Animal, and I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow. Tomorrow, yeah, we gotta go pick your mans and them up. Where yet? The Labyrinth of Eternity? Oh boy.